Welcome to Bears Banter, where the Bears fans meet to talk about the Chicago Bears. Welcome to week number 12. Today on the broadcast is myself, Bernard Muhammad, Dante Williams, Keith Flournoy, Tammy Harris, Guy Williams, and Jaye Beasley. I don't even want to ask this question, but how's everybody doing this evening? I
Bad.
know all of us kind of pissed off today. I know I am. I was,
Stunned and disgusted.
yeah, I was sitting there celebrating. I'm thinking Club Dub was about to open up with about 2 minutes left, you know, and now all of a sudden Club Dub is shut down again. It looked like it's gonna be permanently closed the way they playing.
It
Well,
does.
I had this saying, it's better to be pissed off than pissed on. But if you get pissed on, at least you can wash it off.
Right. So for those who just tuning in, who missed the game, Chicago Bears fall to Detroit Lions 34-30 in Chicago. Anybody have something to say before we jump into the format? And then actually I brought in Mike Alton back from Friday to address a few plays. It was a couple of questionable plays, and I wanted to get his experience as a referee on what he thought, even though it probably changed the outcome of the game. But anyway, so hey, let's jump right into it. What happened?
Well, playoff teams are playoff teams, and speakers are speakers, man. Playoff team wouldn't make these type of mental mistakes, man. They're just certain things that you just can't do. I mean, we had a lead with backed up deep, and I know we were off camera, and Jay was talking about he can understand the pass at that particular junction. I can't too, considering it was third down. But if you see a defensive player come off the edge, or as much as even someone just somewhat encroach the line, throw it away a ball on it, because at least you kick the ball 40 yards. You still got a chance to try to get the defense that couldn't stop nobody to try to stop somebody. But it is what it is.
I got you, Bernard.
Got it?
So,
Okay.
in my mind, what happened is the team broke down from a mental standpoint. So a lot of these games require mental strength and intestinal fortitude. Okay, we make the bad play and give up the fumble within the last 2 minutes. The offense actually came back and started driving the ball down the field. It was a good pass to Robinson. He had the first down, and then for whatever reason he took a step back and stepped out of bounds. So that was not knowing, down and distance and what have you. Then that last play, we did make the final yard. So this was a team loss, but I absolutely put this on the defense. Absolutely.
Okay, you put this on the defense. Like
I do.
the thing about the Allen Robinson play, which really makes that play really strange, is the defender fell down.
Right.
And I don't know, he just didn't have field awareness, or it had made up his mind he was gonna run out of bounds, but the defender actually fell down. And he turned around anticipating that the defender was about to hit him, but the defender was just getting off the ground. He could have walked into that first down if he'd have just turned up the field versus thinking, I'm about to get out of bounds, but I'm going to make this defender miss first. Hey, Tammy, you're up. What do you think about what happened today?
I'm just stunned and disgusted. But I'm going to say that I just really wonder when and if we will ever get both sides of our team playing in the same game. It's like the offense, he was doing a better job. Well, we still don't have a sterling, world-class offense, but they were doing a better, competent, efficient job and doing what they needed to do. Sadly, the defense, in my opinion, has been doing what they were doing for the past few weeks. And I know that, a lot of people believe that, if they only give up a certain number of points, then, they're doing well in the NFL. But I think just as a fan and as a person that didn't play, just purely as a fan, I think the way that you give up those points matters. So if you're giving up 19 points, but they're hard-fought points, That's one thing. And excuse me, because this might not be very ladylike, but if you're giving up those points and you're bending over and taking it up the butt, basically,
Ooh.
then then I don't. It's not the same that they're only giving up 19 points or whatever because they didn't have any fight. They let them be too loose. They let them be too easy. So I mean, this one was hard, but I was worried at the end of the first half because I just felt like they were just letting them stick around too much.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, Mike Alton, I just brought you on the broadcast. Let you know.
I'm watching the Packers lose to the Eagles right now. I'm
All
sorry.
right. Okay. Hey, Jay, you're up.
Woo! Okay.
What happened today? What happened today is inexcusable. It's just inexcusable. Um, how did you come out halftime with a 10-point lead? You kicking the ball off to them. You get a 3 and out, and you go away from what's working. The first half, all you did was lined up and ran the ball when you needed to. You ran the ball when you needed to. You passed it when you needed to. It's inexcusable. This right here is fireable. This is a fire. This loss is a fireable offense.
Yeah.
It really is because you cannot come out with a 10-point lead and just give it up like you did. Like you did. It's just it's inexcusable. It's inexcusable.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, Dante, you're up.
I'm gonna have to go with.
You got signed, so you know it's
I'm
bad.
gonna go with all around inconsistency. You can see the first half they ran the ball pretty good. Cordell Patterson. They gave it to who's the other running back? They gave it to Montgomery. They was running the ball really good, but the Bears came into the game dead last in rushing yards, and they came in the game as I think the worst third quarter team in the league. So when the third quarter came, they didn't score the ball at all. They looked like and they was in no man's land at that point. And the defense has really kind of been inconsistent. The defense played good, I think, the first half, but I still think it's inexcusable to let Matthew Stafford throw for 400 and some yards, and then you let Marvin Jones get 116 yards. So personally, I think it's all around inconsistency on the offense and defensive end. The defense, we ain't been looking like ourselves lately. Even though we got Akeem Hicks back, but we still look inconsistent. It doesn't matter what side of the ball it is.
Okay. Hey, want to bring Mike Alton. Hey, Mike, what do you think happened today?
Well, I think that it's the tale of two halves, and you have to put together a full game. The Bears came out really fired up the first half. They played with a chip on their shoulder. If you remember Buster Screen with the big fourth down stop, we've been on him very badly in Chicago for the past couple of weeks. He made a great play, and just moving forward, part of the Bears' defensive problem is that their zone defense is not very good. Their linebackers cannot cover underneath at all. Right? So you look up, you see Roquan Smith getting beat in the zone. Part of the, as you guys know, my football background, when you're playing a zone, you have to cover the people that's in your zone.
In your zone.
Hello.
So if you are not next to a guy that's in your zone, you're not defending your zone. And you see that a lot of times where these guys are chasing guys all across the field and producing third down conversions and things like that. And you're like, man, what's going on? They're not very good on zone defense right now. And it just shows. It shows. The defense, and we talk about the inconsistencies of the defense has not been good since Fangio left and went to Denver. It's changed since Pagano has been in there. They're not attacking. They're not. It's a difference. We talked about even in the pregame of the show of the Bears not having any sacks. They're not attacking on defense, and so now it's more of a sit back and wait and now they're throwing bombs at us, and we're getting blown up. So that's my take on it. So
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Facts.
I'm just absorbing everything everybody said, and one of the things I would say to kind of piggyback on Mike is I know I said it and all have said it. One of the problems with the Bears is they don't do anything in the third quarter. The Bears was up
Dang.
23-13. I believe it was 13
Yeah,
at
23-13.
halftime. The Bears scored only 7 points in the second half.
Mhm.
And Detroit scored about 20 some points, 22, whatever.
21.
21 points in the second half. Okay, a game is about playing. You gotta win your quarters. You start losing quarters, so that you lost the third quarter and you lost the fourth quarter. The first quarter, I think the game was only 6-7. So that's where you lose the game. And the Bears' defense is letting them down. Even though Mitch fumbled that ball at the end, they should have been running the ball. You should have been in your 4-minute offense, running, forcing them to use their timeouts, and grinding that ball out. And if you had to punt, they had to go the whole length of the field. But what you're doing is you're trying to be fancy. And even though you was calling a good game, you turn around and you're not thinking about the situation. And down at the end, there was some kind of bonehead plays. I'm not sure what Allen Robinson was thinking, or I should say what he was thinking, but he didn't realize the defender had fell down. He could have easily just turned around and got the first down. I'm not sure what that is.
That's the front office calling you, telling you that Nagy just got fired.
What is that?
Hey, we got hold on. Let me show you. We got.
That's somebody's Google.
It's Russ.
Okay, Russell Baker said, no football awareness. You have a timeout left. Upfield, you get as much as you can. Step out of bounds. Prevent defense. Prevent them from winning. LaVelle Jones on Facebook say Pagano has taken away our aggressiveness. That's a good point. Let's move to the next question. How was Trubisky's performance today? Want to start it off, guy?
Yeah, I think he did really good. I really do think he did good. I mean, I don't think that we should just basically take a couple of points off that last montage where he fumbled. He's getting the ball out quick. He did everything. To me, it looks like he's learned from sitting on the bench to actually be able to read defenses better. And instead of just looking downfield all the time, it's like he's just taking it, as he has. And we see some couple passes in. I think he did really good. If I could even give a grade on him, I'd probably give him like a B.
You give him a B? Okay. Let's go. I'm bringing Mike out there. Broadcast. Hey, Dante, you're up. Mike, you can go ahead.
Right.
Oh, well, if Mitch did everything to win this football game except that fumble in the end, he looked outstanding early. He had great reads. What we talked about last week, they did a lot of running the football, play action passing, giving him little stuff to do where he could be successful. I would grade him at a B- because of the fumble, but he did everything he could to win the football game. That's all.
Yep.
Okay. Dante, you're up.
I thought he played good. He had 0 interceptions. He completed about 76% of his passing. So, and he was 26-34. So I really don't think you can ask much of Mitch. I just think the defense kind of let him down, and then there's been some offensive inconsistencies, not on really his end, but more on like the coach end and some of the receivers. So I think Mitch played pretty good.
Okay, you thought Mitch played pretty good? Okay. Hey, Plank, you're up.
Yeah, I liked Trubisky's field awareness. There was a couple plays in the fourth quarter. He had dropped back to pass even within that 4-minute time period, but he didn't. He actually tucked the ball, ran forward, maybe got 1 or 2 yards, but that kept the clock running. That let me know that he was aware of where he was, that he was thinking, that he was, mentally involved in the game. So I think Trubisky did a great job. And the other thing that I noticed, they talked about the stats between Trubisky's numbers and Foles, and it was astronomically different.
Yep.
Trubisky is clearly the preferred and should be the better quarterback from those two guys. So I'm gonna give him a B plus.
Okay. Hey, Plank, I think we're getting a little static in your mic when you kind of turn your head.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound much better right there. Okay, hey, Jay, you're
Because
up.
all I'm doing is turning my head all day now.
I don't know.
I think Trubisky played well today. I really did, because I saw how he actually went through his progressions today, and he made some nice check downs when he didn't have nothing up the field. He did use his legs when he needed to. His pocket awareness was good. The offensive line pretty much was okay today. They was okay today. He had some clean pockets to throw out of. So I like I said, I can't put this game on Trubisky. I really can't. Unfortunately, he had the fumble. They gave the Lions the ball back on the 7 at the end of the game. But outside of that, I think he played really well. I really do. I mean, you can't ask much more from the kid. He's been benched. He's been ostracized. So you can't ask for no much more. You can't ask for no much more. But I think he played well today. And if I had to grade him, I would give him a B plus.
Okay, what about you, Tammy?
Yeah, I would give him a B as well. I think he played really well. I saw a few people blaming him, on Facebook, but this is definitely not on him. I agree. I think he did everything that he could do to win the game. He had the fumble, but one play alone, does not lose the game. I think the fact that we let them stick around is what really hurt us in the end. But I think his decision making was better. I was going to mention that his pass completion was over 75% too. He had a really solid game, and this ain't on him.
Okay. Yeah.
But I still,
what is that, Dante? What you
no,
about to say?
I still was gonna say at the end of the game on 4th and 2, I don't know why they ran the ball. I don't know if that was the coach's decision or his decision, but I would have took my chances actually throwing the football at that time rather than. Even though Montgomery was playing, they were playing at the first half. They kind of went away from that in the second half. So I would have took my chances and threw it.
Hey, Dante, that's a great observation. That's a bad play call, because if you get that first down, you have one timeout. It's about 11 seconds left. They're going to pile on you. By the time you clear that pile, get the timeout, you probably got 7 seconds left. Now you only got time for one play. That play you should have definitely passed the ball.
Yep.
Get the guy out of bounds, and if you got it, you got time to really set up your play. And even if you don't get out of bounds, at least you got time to set up your play. But running the ball in the middle of the field with that less of time, that's a bad play call. But as far as Mitch, I thought Mitch played a solid game. Unfortunately, he fumbled at the end. He went through his progressions well. He managed the game well. He put points on the board other than the third quarter, but the defense just didn't do its part. The defense gave up, other than that turnover. They gave up 23 points before that turnover. You're not winning when you're giving up. Not 23, it's more than that. They gave up 27 points.
27 points.
7 points before that turnover.
And you it's bad. And Khalil Mack can get a sack in 4 games, they said? Today was his first sack in 4 games.
They got one sack.
It didn't count.
And that's how you didn't count.
It didn't count.
That's how you didn't count.
The Bears had 0 sacks today. But hold on 1 minute. I want to cue up something. Hold on 1 minute.
Love don't mean a thing. A little something for the steppers. The new upcoming release by Tammy Harris, coming to you this Christmas.
Love don't mean a thing if I don't have you. If I don't have you, love don't mean a thing. Love don't mean a thing if I don't have you. If I don't have you.
Man, This lady be working.
Well
This lady
done,
works
Oh,
hard.
I'm sorry. There you go. Good job. Good job.
Great job. Yeah, I want to
Thanks.
apologize, Tammy. When I look back at the broadcast on Friday, I mistakenly said the name of the song was "Love Don't Cost a Thing," but it's actually "Love Don't Mean a Thing." Hey, look out for Tammy's CD that's coming out for Christmas. Great job. I mean, that's a real
Good
nice
job.
Chicago
It's
steppers.
a perfect stocking stuffer.
Thanks.
Right. So, hey, let's move to the next question. Let's move on. Let's look at these bragging rights. Oh man, we ain't got nothing to brag about today. All of us was wrong.
We ain't got nothing to brag about the whole season, if you ask me.
So from today's game, I thought Guy looked like he was going. I think it was Guy looked like he was going to be the closest. I think.
That was a guy.
That's what I said. You
Yeah,
know
it was
what?
Guy.
I'm gonna tell you
Guy
something.
had him 30-20.
Here's a tripped out thing. I'm on YouTube the other day just scanning through stuff. I saw something. January 14th, 1978. It was this punk rock group that was well known called the Sex Pistols. They came here to America for the first time. They did a set. The very last song they did was No Fun. And after they did the song, they were expected to do more. And your boy Johnny Rock was like, "Do you have the feeling that you've been cheated?" And they walked off the stage. And I'm laughing at that. At the end of this game, that thing was in my head, and it was so I ripped my head off.
Right. Yeah. So we got Tammy at 4-8, Jaye at 4-8. I'm at 6-6. Guys at 5-7, and Plank at 6-6. So we're gonna move over to the people who was thinking up the field today, and I want to start out with Mike. I'm gonna bring him the broadcast to ask him a question. Hey, Mike, there was a play in the game. It was the touchdown that got them 27. I think it got them 27 points, and it was a nice throw by Stafford. But from my vantage point, it looked like the defender extended his arm out to get the separation just as the ball came. Your experience as a referee, what did you see?
Nothing. Nah. As referees, you know, we the blindest people in the stadium. But yeah, you had texted me about that play, and I went back and looked at it. I actually somebody had posted a still photo of it on Facebook, what makes it even better on why there was no call. Kyle Fuller is looking up at the ball.
Yep.
And not making a play on the receiver. So the receiver does extend his hand, but he does not create an advantage for himself because Cal's not even trying to do anything to play the ball. So that's a no call. All calls are advantage, disadvantage. Receiver did not create any advantage for himself. So touchdown.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Mike. That's one of the things I wanted us to be able to do at time to time is to bring somebody in with your experience to tell us like your viewpoint as a referee, because I definitely, when I saw that play, I thought it was a pass interference. But anyway, what happened to the defense? So we're gonna start off with the defensive players. Plank.
Bring it on. So what happened today is the defense did not bring any intestinal fortitude. The defensive line played terribly. We ended up with 0 sacks. We got the 1 interception from a defensive lineman, but that's not something I'm gonna expect every day. The linebackers were terrible. They left open spots in the zone all game. The defensive backs were terrible. So, all in all, my estimation of the game was that both teams would do their average, which would have put the Bears at 29 points given. Lions gave up 29, Bears gave up 22. But because the Bears gave up 34 points instead of 22, that lets you know they weren't on their game. So the Bears defense, it sucked today.
Okay, the Bears defense sucked today. Tammy, you need some water? I need a little water. Hey,
I'm okay.
You okay? Okay, let me
I
give
thought
you a
she was
minute.
about to sing. I thought she was about to sing for a second. I was waiting. I was about to, love don't mean a
Hey,
thing.
I want to thank everybody who's watching us out on Facebook right now and those who are watching on YouTube. And you're welcome to share your comments. And if I see your comments in here, I'll share them in the live broadcast. Hey, Jay, you're up.
The Bears defense gave us 75 points in 2 games. That's not a recipe
Yeah.
for success. Anytime our putrid offense, score 30 points, we should be able to win a game, man. So what happened today with our defense is they didn't show up. They didn't show up. And you would think that because they gave up 41 last week, the commentators mentioned it's like normally a good defense, if they give up 41 points, that's an anomaly because they normally come back the week after and show who they truly are. If the Bears defense show who they truly are after giving up 41 points last week to Green Bay and giving up 34 points to a bad, lowly Lions team, your 6-10, Bernard, is going to be 5-11.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, Tammy, you're up.
So, yeah, our defense has seemed to have lost their spark. They carried us, when we were winning, in most of the wins that we did have. But when I went back and looked at our wins, one thing that I noticed that was pretty pathetic, which makes this whole season pretty pathetic, is that we only have one win against a team that's over 500. So that's not anything to be excited about at all. But our defense they lost their spark. I don't know if they got deflated because the offense was like not present for so long. And now the offense is starting to find maybe a little bit of a spark. And our defense has seemed to completely have lost theirs. And they, like Jay said, they just didn't show up, and they haven't been showing up the last 3, if not 4 games.
Okay. Hey, I want to share. Matter of fact, we have one of the young ladies making a comment today. Hey, Tanya, how you doing? Tanya graduated high school with me. Tanya said they blew it at the end, shaking my head. I see Nate and your frat brother.
Nate.
What's up, Nate? Nate is a diehard Steelers fan. Yeah, man. Nate believes yellow and black, man. But anyway, Nate put miss extra point. What's that? He got that slang for me. Man, you spell stuff wrong like that, man. I'd be like, what?
Could have
had a chance to tie it at the end and fight to overtime. And then Dante, your brother, left a comment. He put Allen Robinson lost us at the end.
I can't argue with that. Because that play was suspect. That play was.
Did you see the rest of the plays AR made all game? Come on,
One
guys.
play does not lose the game.
Yeah.
One play.
Come on, guys.
I can't go with that.
One thing that was probably.
There you go.
Personally, they on a 6-game losing streak now. I think the defense gave up like a long time ago. Honestly, you don't see Khalil Mack, really talking as much now. You can kind of see his face expression on the bench. You would have thought it would have been better. Hakeem Hicks came back today, but it still seemed like we not together on defense, and you can kind of tell. I don't know if y'all remember that last play, the last touchdown the Lions got. I think Matthew Stafford had threw. I forgot who he threw it to. But it was like the safety was just standing there, and the wide receiver completely burnt the cornerback. I forgot who was guarding him, but the safety, when they were showing that playback, the safety was like confused, like nobody moved or anything. So I think it's a lot of, since nobody has that passion right now on defense. I think it's a whole bunch of miscommunication going on as well.
That touchdown was a blown coverage though, because Jalen Johnson was standing there. Jalen Johnson was standing there, and Tayshaun Gibson was looking at him like, okay, wait a minute. Who got the flat and who got the deep?
Right.
Deep. Yep. And so he was stuck. The safety was kind of stuck because it's like
Tayshaun Gibson was looking at him like, who got the deep and who got the flat? Yeah.
Yeah, the problem was they had 20 yards to defend if you count the 10 yards in the back of the end zone, and they defended 3 yards.
Absolutely.
Hey,
That
you
was
up,
the
Al?
easiest throw I've seen all year.
That was that Madden defense. You ever see how they draw the plays on Madden when they show the defenders? They got like the blue circle and the orange circle. It looked like the safety was like, oh, okay, it's this big circle that's like five yards wide and 5 yards deep. If he comes in this circle, I'm good. If not,
If not,
in
yeah,
fairness to him, your boy got burnt on that route. It seemed like he sort of tripped, but he got burnt, and the safety just turned like this because it was too late anyway. But you thought he had his guy. But I would say with the defense, the safeties were pedestrians. Real talk with Khalil Mack, he's got like a disc injury or something with his back. I know a lot of people will hate to hear me say this, but if that's going to limit him to be like that, he's really not doing nothing. Let him down.
he's a liability.
Get a young guy, a young body out there. At least now you don't have guys like this. You can they're doing single coverage on Mac, and he's still not getting through. So it lets you know he's hurt, but he's kind of like a liability. But our defense,
He's a liability.
Pedestrian nothing. They were geriatric.
It's time to trade.
Yeah.
Especially time to trade Khalil Mack.
Hey, you up, Mike?
So it's time to trade Khalil Mack. And the play that you guys are talking about, it goes back to what I was talking about as far as with the Bears defensive zone. Guys don't know who has what. I mean, in the huddle, I mean, when the play is called, you expect a guy to do his job in the zone. Right. And so when there are some times where you might be thinking we're in something and they call a blitz or something like that. But you expect that guy to cover his zone. But I think these next couple of games, guys are planning to be here next year. And so I think you gotta start doing a fire sale, man. The Bears organization will be looking at what collateral they have. And I think Khalil Mack will be the first one up out of here.
Yeah, it's all about self-evaluation now. It's all about evaluation right now.
You're right. Hey, quick, you know what's interesting, man? When I look at like playoff and far-reaching playoff teams, their defensive back, their cornerback, I'm not talking about those teams. When they
talking about playoffs?
Playoffs?
I can talk about playoffs when I'm talking about other teams that go through the playoffs.
Yeah.
But you ever notice, like, what I noticed, like, when they do the overhead cams, you got the safeties and the cornerbacks on these, like, high caliber teams. It's almost like all of them work as, like, one unit. It's like it's never like a pregnant pause. It's almost like the cornerbacks come up and do their things, and the safeties kind of move in conjunction, and they never really get beat on crazy stuff. And it's almost like they're kind of interconnected because they played so long and they understand it. It just seemed like our safeties, man. It's like some guys want to do real well and they kind of overplay. You get some guys in miss coverages, and then we give up 27 points.
It's kind of. I'm trying to figure out what they watching during the week in film study because teams have tendencies. You don't all of a sudden change who you are in week 13. You have tendencies. This particular formation, they run this. This particular formation, they run this. What are we looking at in the film session? What are we doing at practice? I just want to know what's happening, and it's just I have no idea. I'm blown.
I like to say what I said last week as far as the Bears defense, and I know I was talking about the bye week. The Bears defense starting to look like they're unprepared. They look uninspired, and they're making no adjustments at all. It's ridiculous. I mean, Trevathan, as good as he plays in the run game, Trevathan is always trailing in the pass game. Yeah. He's always trailing. All you got to do is run a crossing route in whatever zone Trevathan has to be in, and he's going to be trailing. Trevathan cannot stick his man. I don't know why Buster Screen is still on the field, to be honest. I mean, it got to be somebody on the team that's better than Buster Screen. And I mean, it just doesn't. The defense failed this team today. Yeah, I know at the end, Allen Robinson blew their play, but the defense. Let's go back to the defense gave up 27 points in this game. This was before the turnover.
Right.
It was after halftime. Detroit moved the ball very easily on the Bears.
They
Yes,
did.
they did.
They mixed it
It
up.
looked as easy as it looked last week when they played against Green Bay. I mean, there was actually zero resistance as far as what you saw from the Bears defense. And I'm going to say what Mike said. The Bears management, upper management, is going to have to look at what do they want to accomplish this year. You know, do they want to win a few more games to try to get on the playoff run, or do they want to miss a playoff run and end up with maybe 7 victories and kind of screw themselves in the draft? Why they gonna rebuild this team, or what? They need to look at it, because what the Bears have did was put all their money on defense, and they got people like Allen Robinson sitting out there waiting on contracts. But defensively, the Bears defense have not gotten it done down the stretch. I know they've done great in the first half of the season, but it's what you do in the last quarter of the season as well. But
to that point, Bernard, I wanted to just interject. All for the last couple of years, we've been talking about how elite the Bears defense is, and specifically, we talked about Eddie Jackson as a free safety because he was a difference maker. He's not earning his money. Khalil Mack, hurt or not, is not earning his money. So those two players, Robert Quinn is stealing money. So these guys, we are no longer elite.
On him, man. I specifically focused on Robert Quinn today. And I'm like, this dude is doing absolutely nothing out here. He's doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, so we got, and the piggyback off what Mike said, the Bears got some decisions to make.
Yep.
Because he said it might be time to trade Khalil Mack. You talking about Khalil Mack. You talking about Buster Screen. You talking about Robert Quinn.
You're not going to trade Buster because he ain't got no trade value.
You got to get better nicknames with some of these guys.
You talking about some people. You talk about some people that's making a lot of money coming into 2021. And, and with the salary cap supposedly going down $23 million, the Bears got some decisions to make. Yeah. Not only do they got decisions to make on the players, but at this point, they got some decisions to make. GM, head coach, president of operations. We got some decisions to make, man. We got some decisions to make for real.
I want to point out Lee Bate left a comment down there.
GQ Bay, what's up, man?
He's Lee is a architect critic. I know. I believe he is with the Sovereign Music. I know he was reviewing for a while, but Lee said he agrees that Buster's Screen cannot play. Also, I see William Owens put down there. No one's going to pick up the money from Matt.
That's very true. That's very true.
Hold on, let's move to the next question. Next question is, how do we grade the coaching? And here's a comment down here. It says, what does that say? William Owens put poor coaching on both sides of the ball, decent defense, passive coaching, and dumb plays called on offense. Okay, so let's go back to the question. How do we grade the coaching? Who want to start off with how we grade the coaching?
I got it. Come on, bring it. Offensively, I'm not going to give that harsh a grading on the offensive team. The offensive line did a wonderful job for the most part. They kept the pocket clean. They actually had us running the ball. The wide receivers actually showed up. There was some pretty good catches for AR. Anthony Miller actually showed up as well. Even Cole Kmet came out and made some good catches. So from an offensive coaching standpoint, negating those play calls, some of them play calls at the end, I'm going to have to give the offense a high grade. I absolutely do. Defensively, the defense just the coaching, the president, people that handed them water bottles, all of them was substandard as far as I was concerned. So
Okay.
I agree. You know what? I'm a take it. You know what? I'm piggybacking off of you. Like I look at the mistakes we made on offense. That's true. But you're talking about an anemic offense that got 30 points. So I can't really give them a bad grade.
Great point.
Defense is definitely the defense. I'm definitely giving the defense a.
here it comes.
Go give it, guys.
And here's why. And you know what? Let's negate all the plays and all that stuff. Let's go a common sense angle. The Detroit Lions passing, if I'm not mistaken, they were ranked 13th in the league. And you're thinking, okay, we ain't got that much. We got Adrian Peterson, who's probably a quadruple AARP member, getting yards on you, which makes it a plus for them. But you automatically know if you come into a game, regardless of how bad they are, if you're looking at it and saying, okay, well, they're bad, they do this, they're 20th in the league in offense, but wait, they're 13th in the pass. I would think everybody, for a person, telling these defensive backs, dude, don't get burnt. And unfortunate part about that, like I said, that the defense gets that head coaching. Nagy got to go, man. I'm sorry. Nagy's got to go. Laser did really good, but I can't remember who it was on the text that was talking about, oh, they did great for the scripted plays. All the scripted plays were great.
I had put that on there. I was saying once they got all
great. You're right. After that, it just seemed like, I mean, they still were able to somewhat move the ball, though, but it's just like a couple plays they did or whatever it is, you know, but there it is. I'm reading the thing on
No, blow it up.
Oh, man, say blow it up. Get rid of anybody that can't help us in the next 3 years.
Wow.
Hey, Tammy, you're up.
We ain't going to get nothing for Leno, though. I'm sorry.
So I would give the offense a B. I think they did pretty well. They were executing plays. They were moving the ball well. They had some bad, questionable play calls, you know, at the end of the game. But overall, they had a more solid offensive game than they've been having for most of the season. The defense is crushing my heart because I'm a diehard Bears fan who believe in like some kick butt defense, smash them, aggressive. I know, sweet little old me don't seem that way, but when it comes to being on the football field, like they supposed to be like monsters. They're supposed to be tearing it up, and they're just not. And that's whenever I don't see our defense showing up, it just breaks my heart because we're a team that's built on defense. So defense would get like a D-. Overall coaching, I don't know, maybe like a C-, but it was a rough, heartbreaking game.
Okay. Hey, we're going to wrap up the broadcast in the next 3 to 4 minutes. Hold on. Plank went. Did you go, Jay?
No, I didn't go.
Okay, Jay, you're up.
How did you grade the coaching today? Offensively, y'all know me, man. Offensively, I ain't gonna be too harsh on them because they did score 30 points today. So offensively, I am gonna give them a B. I think what we lost the game, I think personally, what we lost this game at today is when we came out in the third quarter and stopped doing what was working for us in the first half. That's what we lost this game at today. So offensively, I'm going to give them a B. Defensively, I got to give them a D. I got to give them a D because when you up 10 points, you're supposed to be able to rush the pass. I believe I text y'all like, okay, now we up 10 points. This is where your pass rush is coming in at. You can pay your ears back now. You're up 10 points. Go get the quarterback. We didn't do that. And our coverage, our zone coverage, like Mike said, you know, is one of the things where it's like so laxed. It's our zone coverage is so laxed where they putting the ball in zones where people are not at, which is over the top of our linebackers, right in between our defensive backs. So I would have to give the defense a D. Special teams, which really wasn't a factor. So I would have to give them a A-. Overall coaching, I would say a C. If I go curve it out, I'll say a C.
Okay, yeah, hey Jay, I'm going to get a defense a D minus. I'm going to get an offense a B minus. I'm giving them a minus because one, they turned the ball over in a crucial situation, and also
In a crucial
situation. Also, I'm still going to give them that minus because the Bears have played 12 third quarter 12 games now. In 12 games, they've only scored one touchdown by their offense in the third quarter. Until they solve that, I cannot give their offense an A because that's ridiculous. That's like Plank had mentioned on it when we was texting. 12 quarters of the third quarter and only got 3 points. I know they got 1 point score was on the kickoff by Patterson. That was the only other time they scored. But that's almost like 3 or 4 games worth of quarters that you can't even score in the third quarter.
Touchdown.
Yeah,
not even a touchdown, just a field goal. You can't even score a field goal.
Yeah, so if I average that out, that brings the defense, that brings the overall coaching to a C. And Dante, you're gonna get the last word as far as coaching.
I'm gonna say overall the performance is a C minus because even though the offense was good, the defense was kind of not the same. And I think one thing I want to touch up on is I feel like the reason the Bears are terrible in the third quarter is because I feel like the offensive adjustments are like pretty bad. And I think what I mean by that is the Bears, even though a lot of people say they should have kept the running game, even though they did for a little bit, I felt like the Detroit Lions knew they were going to run the ball. Like on that 4th and 2nd on that last play, even though I said they shouldn't have ran the ball, they should have threw it. But it was like almost they knew Montgomery or even Patterson was going to get the ball. So I feel like to have an offense like that, you're not going to beat teams. I mean, that's why I feel like the Detroit Lions won because their offense kind of, mixed it up. It was kind of creative. It wasn't just Marvin Jones, but a lot of the receivers kind of got active in the game. So personally, until the Bears figure out how to offensively adjust in the second half, even though they could have kept running the ball, but I guess the Detroit Lions kind of were on to them about running the ball. I feel like the Bears got to do something with their offensive adjustments. But for Nagy, I'll give him a C minus today.
Okay, you give him a C minus. So, hey, I'd like to thank everybody who tuned in today. Everybody on Facebook who left comments today, the people who viewed it out on YouTube today, and thank Mike Alton for coming on today to give us a critique of that play. So we'll see you on Friday and Football 101. Hey, Mike, you want to come back for Football 101 again?
Yeah, I'll come back.
Okay, so thank you, everybody. Have a nice evening. Peace.
This is what it looks like in Buster Screen Space Mask.